Hey guys, so today I'm gonna just be introducing this video super quickly because I have already filmed it, it's done, it just needs to be edited and introed. Basically, I filmed a shelf tour before I left for school. My room is being repainted like as we speak, and I needed to remove all of the books off of my shelves so that it could be moved and painted. So as I was doing that, I just decided to film a shelf tour for you guys. So that is what you're about to see. Disclaimer, it's probably all over the place, probably not very good at it. The lighting gets weird at places because my bookshelves are done in a very weird way in that I have one bookshelf, but I can get to it from either side, so I use it like two. And then I use like another part of a second bookshelf, and it gets kind of dark at places and stuff like that. So be patient with me. I tried my absolute hardest to get this to work for you guys. But without further ado, let's get into the shelf tour. So this is what my TBR shelf looks like. Well, most of my TBR shelf. This is like my main TBR shelf. So let's start doing this. Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, and The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, I can never say that name. Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, The Golden Lily by Rochelle Mead, Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead, Emerald Green by Kirsten Gier, Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier, and Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. The Diviners by Libba Bray, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, The Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare, and The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. Cinder by Marissa Meyer, Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, and The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness, Every Day by David Levithan, When Rabbit Howls by The Troops for Trudy Chase, The Golem and the Ginny by Helene Wecker, Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, Eve and Adam by Michael Grant and Catherine Applegate, Tweak Growing Up on Methamphetamines by Nick Sheff, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, Point of Retreat by Colleen Hoover, The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, Everneath by Brody Ashton, Reboot by Amy Tintera, Partials by Dan Wells, Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, Lux Beginnings by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Lux Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews, and The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. So this is my paperback and then other editions of Harry Potter Part 1 shelf. The other part is behind it, but obviously these are the special edition Philosopher's Stones. These are all just the paperback Harry Potters, and then these are the Tales of Beedle Bard, Quidditch to the Ages, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So that's just everything on that shelf. The Friends We Keep by Susan Mallory, The Norton Anthology of English Literature, The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer, Lexicon by Max Barry, The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith, The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, Career of Evil by Robert Galbraith, The Dark Days Club by Allison Goodman, Fashion Journalism by Julie Bradford, 5 Plays by Langston Hughes, The Best of Simple by Langston Hughes, Collected Essays by James Baldwin, Early Novels and Stories by James Baldwin, Scythe by Neil Schusterman, The Young Elites by Marie Lu, 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake, The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, The Queen of the Tierling by Erica Johansson, An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray, Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, Night Film by Marisha Pessel, Caraval by Stephanie Gerber, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, Collected Poems of Langston Hughes, The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld, Twilight, the Special Anniversary Edition by Stephenie Meyer. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. Landline by Rainbow Rowell. The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion. The Rosie Effect by Graeme Simsion. To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. Ashes to Ashes by the same authors. Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. Others of My Kind by James Sallis. The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. The Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider. This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld. 100 Sideways Miles by Andrew Smith. Trouble by Non Pratt. 2x2 by Nicholas Sparks. See Me by Nicholas Sparks. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. Poor Little Bitch Girl by Jackie Collins. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. The Martian by Andy Weir. We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallach. Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Weingarten. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Illyri Sanz. Confess by Colleen Hoover. Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler. Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan. Blood Rose Rebellion by Rosalind Eves. The Whole Thing Together by Anne Brashares. Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. On Second Thought by Ray Herbert. Zeros by Scott Westerfeld. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, number 4, The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. Big Stone Gap by Adriana Trigiani. Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Selected Poems by Derek Walcott. Z, A Novel of Zelda Fitzgerald by Therese Ann Fowler. The Demon King. The Exiled Queen. The Grey Wolf Throne. And The Crimson Crown by Cinda Williams Chima. The Selection by Kiera Cass. 4 by Veronica Roth. Death by Petticoat, American History Myths Debunked by Mary Miley Theobald. The Nest by Cynthia D'Aprix Sweeney. It's Called a Breakup Because It's Broken by Greg Brandant and Amira Rutola Brandant. You Are a Badass. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living Awesomely by Jen Sincero. A Bad Beginning, Part 1 of a Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. Shakespeare Not Stirred by Caroline Bix and Michelle Epframe. To Kill a Mockingbird by Tim Federal. Growing Up in Slavery, Stories of Young Slaves as Told by Themselves by Yuval Taylor. Scarlet, the sequel to Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind by Alexandra Ripley. Sushi for Beginners by Marian Keyes. The Unchangeable Spots of Leopards by Christopher Jansma. Yes Please by Amy Poehler. Presence, Bringing Your Boldest Self to Your Biggest Challenges by Amy Cuddy. Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. Root Journey by Donald McCraig. 4 classic novels by Jane Austen. And an old copy of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. So now we are getting into my read shelf. This is just all of the books that I've already read. Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. At First Sight. Message in a Bottle. The Guardian. Dear John. A Walk to Remember. The Lucky One. The Wedding. The Rescue. The Choice. The Last Song. And The Best of Me by Nicholas Sparks. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. An Abundance of Catherines. Looking for Alaska. And Paper Towns by John Green. Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. Speak by Laurie Halls Anderson. The Longest Ride by Nicholas Sparks. Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Wow. The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. Vampire Academy. Frostbite. Shadow Kiss. Blood Promise. Spirit Bound. And Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. Brave New World by Aldo Huxley. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. The Color Purple by Alice Walker. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. And Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The Brief, Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Junot Diaz. Atonement by Ian McEwan. Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. Pretties by Scott Westerfeld. Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. And The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. So this is just my Harry Potter shelf. This basically has all of my hardcover Harry Potter books, and then my wand is right above it. But yep, those are all of those. Burning Up on Tour with the Jonas Brothers. Press Here by Heave Toulet. Polar Bear's Underwear by Tupura Tupura. My Favorite Thing is Monsters by Emile Ferris. Ghost World by Daniel Clowes. Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. A Contract with God by Will Eisner. Batman the Dark Knight by Frank Miller. Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Fun Home by Alison Bechdel. Yummy by G. Neri. Mouse by Art Spiegelman. American Born Chinese by Jean Lewin Yang. Blues for Mr. Charlie by James Baldwin. The Aguero Sisters by Christina Garcia. Shellshaker by Leanne Howe. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rice. Divergent by Veronica Roth. Insurgent and Allegiant by Veronica Roth. Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. The Walled City by Ryan Groudon. Beloved by Toni Morrison. Bitter in the Mouth by Monique Trong. The 100 Lies of Lizzie Lovett by Chelsea Sidoti. Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. And Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. Get the Guy by Matthew Hussey. And The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Twilight. New Moon. Eclipse. The Brief Second Life of Bree Turner. Breaking Dawn. And The Host by Stephanie Meyer. 6 Great Sherlock Holmes Stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Ceremony by Leslie Marmon Silko. Oedipus the King by Sophocles. Into the Wild by John Krakauer. The Alchemist by Paolo Coelho. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Teen Love on Relationships, a Book for Teenagers by Kimberly Kerberger. Dreamland. Someone Like You. This Lullaby. Lock and Key. The Truth About Forever. And Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. Dear America, A Picture of Freedom, The Diary of Clottie, a Slave Girl. Life as We Knew It by Susan Pfeiffer. The Dead and the Gone by Susan Pfeiffer. Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Junie B. Jones and the Yucky Blucky Fruitcake. Junie B. Jones is a Party Animal. And Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth, all by Barbara Park. The Amazing Days of Abby Hayes, The Pen is Mightier Than the Sword. Look Before You Leap. Now You See It, Now You Don't. And Have Wheels Will Travel, all by Anne Mazur. A Child Called It by Dave Pelzer. The Anybody's by N.E. Buddy. Each Little Bird That Sings by Deborah Wiles. Lily's Ghosts by Laura Ruby. Freakonomics by Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Dubner. Wink Puppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tolock. Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. The Spiderwick Chronicles, The Field Guide, The Seeing Stone, Lucinda's Secret, The Ironwood Tree, and The Wrath of Malgareth, all by Tony DeLorizzi and Holly Black. A Bend in the Road, and The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Marley and Me by John Grogan. Wicked by Gregory Maguire. The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. David Knight by Gail Carson Levine. Matched by Ali Condi. Save the Date by Mary Kay Andrews. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Translations by Brian Friel. The Return of the Soldier by Rebecca West. A Mercy by Toni Morrison. An Unsuitable Job for a Woman by P.D. James. The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. The Murders in the Rue Morgue by Edgar Allan Poe. The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. The Farming of Bones by Edwidge Danticat. And finally, A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier by Ismail Beha.